This striking image, captured by photographer John Whitman for Washington Dossier magazine at the 1985 Second Reagan Inauguration on January 20th, freezes a pivotal American moment at the National Building Museum. The brutal cold that day, with temperatures plunging to 7 degrees Fahrenheit and wind chills below zero, had forced the cancellation of the traditional outdoor ceremony and parade, moving the swearing-in to the Capitol Rotunda for the first time since Roosevelt's 1945 wartime inauguration. Here, President Ronald Reagan at age 73 stands with First Lady Nancy Reagan, age 63, alongside his daughter Maureen, age 44, and her husband Dennis Revell, age 38. What's particularly poignant about this family tableau is its place in the larger Reagan family story. Despite having 4 children, including Maureen and Michael from his marriage to Jane Wyman and Patty and Ron with Nancy, Reagan would ultimately have no biological grandchildren. 9 years after this photo, Maureen and Dennis would adopt a daughter, Rita Mayim, from Uganda. Together with Michael Reagan's children Cameron and Ashley, Rita would become part of the small group of Reagan grandchildren, none of whom are biological descendants of the president. Despite the Arctic conditions, 8 inaugural balls proceeded across Washington that evening. The Building Museum Ball was one of the most prestigious, though the frigid temperatures complicated travel between venues. The $20 million celebration, orchestrated by PR masters Robert Keith Gray, age 63, and Michael Deaver, age 47, included balls at the Washington Convention Center, Kennedy Center, D.C. Armory, Shoreham Hotel, Sheraton, Washington, and the Washington Hilton. The Reagans managed to visit each venue, with the President and First Lady performing their traditional first dance to "Have I Told You Lately That I Love You?" at each stop. Nancy Reagan's James Galano's gown sparkled under the Building Museum's soaring columns, while Chief of Staff James Rosebush helped manage the evening's intricate logistics. Behind the carefully managed pageantry, some staffers had begun noticing concerning moments, as Reagan's son Ron would later write in his memoir, "My Father at 100," and former CBS White House correspondent Leslie Stahl would recount in her book, Reporting Live, describing episodes of confusion as early as 1984. Edmund Morris, Reagan's official biographer, also noted subtle changes in Reagan's second term. Maureen's presence that night reflected the complex dynamics of America's most prominent blended family. Her mother, Jane Wyman, had maintained a respectful distance after her divorce from Reagan in 1949, famously never speaking publicly about their marriage, while Maureen maintained a cordial but distant relationship with her adopted brother Michael. Her connections with half-siblings Ron and Patty were often strained by political differences and family tensions. Unlike her half-siblings, Maureen embraced political life, serving as co-chair of the RNC and running for Senate in California. The corporate sponsorship model pioneered at this inauguration, offering intimate access rather than public recognition, would influence inaugurations for decades to come, though quite differently from today's events where presidential inaugurations can cost upwards of $200 million. Time would reshape the legacy of this evening. Ronald Reagan died 2004, age 93, would later face Alzheimer's, with Nancy died 2016, age 94, becoming his fierce protector. Maureen died 2001, age 60, from melanoma, would tragically pass away when her adopted daughter Rita was just 9 years old, leaving Dennis Revell to continue their shared commitment to the Reagan legacy through his work with the Reagan Foundation. In this photograph, they stand at the peak of power and influence, a moment of celebration that marked both an ending and a beginning, even as subtle signs of change were beginning to appear. Note: as we revisit this inaugural ball in our current context of approaching the 2025 inauguration, it offers perspective on how these celebrations have evolved in both cost and character over 4 decades of American political life.